Hi, so this video going to be showing you some more of my guitars, just demonstrating them and maybe saying the odd word about them. So the first video features this little beauty. The first snippet, if you like, features this little beauty, which is a Martin D28 from 1968. So, have a listen to this. The next guitar we feature is this one here. It's a B15 12 string guitar. Well, in this case it's a 10 string guitar because I don't double up on the first and second strings. I just use a single string for those. So this is actually a 10 string guitar, but obviously it's designed to be a 12 string guitar. Made by Gibson in 1970. Small bodied guitar. It's got quite a nice tone to it. It's got a very, reason I like it is it's got an old, authentic, what I would say authentic sort of tone to it. Whereas I've got another one, a big, a big dreadnought sort of 12 string, an Epiphone Bard from the 1960s. And that's a lot more smooth and polished, and I don't like it quite as much. So I'm showing you this one instead. Anyway, see what you think. So, here's the next guitar we're going to look at. Now, I rather suspect that most people have not seen one of these before. Obviously people have seen resonators and sort of wooden resonators and that before, but this particular guitar I think is quite rare, and it's really sort of quite unusual. Um, it's called a showbro. It was actually manufactured by Gretsch in the late 60s. But it was actually designed by these two blokes, basically, who were sort of country performers, and sort of designed this guitar very to the spec that they wanted, and somehow persuaded Gretsch to actually make it. It's actually a really beautiful guitar. Unlike most of my guitars, it's not had any damage. It's not been put together from bits. It's actually in absolutely brilliant condition, and it's a thing of great beauty. Now, how I came to get this was that in the days of Bradford Folk Club, which I've talked about a few videos ago, I met a guy there called Roger Sutcliffe, who became quite a famous sort of blues performer, played a lot on the continent, around the folk clubs of England, quite a character, great guitar player, and a man to be looked up to as far as I'm concerned. He stole my girlfriend as well, which back in the 60s it didn't help, but like he was at university and I was still at school, you know, so Andy could play guitar really well and I was a fumbling beginner. So I think he had everything going for him, I think. But anyway, I wasn't happy, but it didn't matter. I've forgiven it ages ago, you know. So, yeah. So, I hadn't seen Roger for many, many years. But sort of bumped into him at Whitby Folk Festival a few years ago. And I watched his set that he was doing somewhere. And he plays resonator guitars. And he'd got one of these, and I'd never seen one of these before. And I really, really liked it. A, because it's so beautiful, but also I quite liked the sound of it, and he played it really well. Yeah, I really want one of them. Really want one of them guitars. So I was down in Brighton, that's 6 years ago now, I think it was. I'd got my grandson with me. We were just having a look around the trendy shops in the lanes in Brighton. And I went into this guitar shop, which is owned by this guy called Alfie Bernardi, who's a great musician and a bit of a character. Wonderfully nice guy, and I'm now sort of matey with him, you know, and I hope one day we might even play some music together if we're lucky. Anyway, so I'm looking around Alfie's guitar shop. Sure enough, sitting there is this. Jesus Christ, I've never seen one of these before, other than, you know, Roger Sutcliffe's one. So, I had a chat to Alfie about it, and he's a very good businessman, but he loves to do a deal, and he likes to sell his guitars to people that are going to appreciate him. And this was one that he had owned personally, and he was very keen for it to go to a good home, and he heard me playing in the shop. So I think he quite wanted to sell it to me, and I definitely wanted to buy it. So he gave me a very good deal, and sure enough, I actually bought it. Now, to be honest, I'm not a resonator guitar player. I'm really not. And I can't really do justice to this guitar. But it's just such a beautiful thing. And actually, having dug it out to do this video, I've told myself that I'm actually gonna, you know, maybe sort of take this up a bit more, because I think it's worth it. So, have a listen. This is, I'm going to play it's from a John Fay album, one of his very early albums. I'm afraid I can't remember what the track is called. If you know the album, you might actually recognise it. On the other hand, I'm no John Fay, so, you know, cut us a bit of slack, will you? But anyway, have a listen. I think you get the tone of the guitar and everything. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so here she is, my 1950s, not sure the exact date, we think it's about 1955, Harmony Roy Smeck guitar. She's a rather attractive sort of jumbo shape, black and white, rather cool, and she is trimmed with what the catalogue called Harmo metal. Can you see? Sort of trimming all around the edges. Now, to you and me, that's aluminium, or maybe aluminum, as the Yanks say. But no, it was marketed as special Harmo metal trim. Yeah, remarkable guitar. They're ladder braced. They're really, really thin. There's really no depth to them at all. Really, I think quite an attractive and rather cool looking guitar. If you ever want to look cool at all, which of course I don't, it's not really me, but if I did want to look cool, I think I'd play this because it's a cool guitar. So that's the guitar. Again, this isn't an expensive guitar, although these are rare and people will pay money for them nowadays. Yeah, I mean, they really are rare. I think they're made of maple. They're certainly not mahogany or rosewood or anything fancy like that. They're very, very sort of basic guitars. But I think you'll agree it's got a bit of mojo to it, so that's why I've introduced you to it today. So that's the last guitar I'm going to show you. Well, if you want to make any comments about any of the guitars and that, or these videos, please do. I love comments. They don't all have to be positive. It can be whatever you want. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.